Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. Ba'asham Rachach. My name is Calvin from Plaintables Camp. Page, what is the 666 Mark II GMS Truth?
But anyway, the 2017, this is when Trump came into office. He was sworn in on January of 2017. So you had the Economist magazine, right? It said inside the Economist office, Economist, and what 2017 has in store for the world, meaning the whole world in the oikoumene sense. So you see here these tarot cards, right? This is on the cover of the Economist 2017. The date, well, if I go back, it'll give you the date as well. But anyway, so it says here the tower, right? Whatever tower this is going to be destroyed. I'm not even going to go to this yet. The magician, which the word maga means magician, magi. The word magician comes from the word magi. A magician does magic tricks. The magi actually had spiritual power. I'll show you that with the Aaron threw down his rod, and many of the magi's, they threw down nail. It didn't say two. It said it was a number of them. Could have been 20, could have been 30. And the rod that Aaron threw down ate up the rod that turned to a serpent ate up the other serpents, showing you that the right-hand side power is more powerful than the left-hand side power. Magician, maga. Look up the word maga, the ancient word. Go back to that word. Maga means magician, magi. Now I was watching Richie from Boston, fan club, I think it's called, fan page, because he was doing a lot of stuff from years ago and putting it up, but he's been doing live videos. Recent videos on that particular page, so you can subscribe to him. Anyway, he goes all into it. Now what I noticed, right, okay, it says the world, right? You got these different books. I assume one of them could be the Bible. You got these, because there's a controversy as to, right, you got, it goes back to Egypt, that goes back to DC most likely, and that goes back to Rome, if I'm not mistaken, the world. Now it says the hermit. Now this is an old painting during the time of the Crusaders. I forget the year. Somebody help me out if you know. I got to search it. But it was Jake pushing out the Edomites, which they called them the hermits. So they pushed them out. When they, when you go to Revelation chapter 20 from the first verse, that's all about what? That's all about the Yahushua binding them up for 1,000 years, which part of that 1,000 years is the medieval times. Medieval times, or the Dark Ages, that's when Jake was in power. That's why Esau doesn't say too much about that. Well, there's not too much happening. Yeah, not too much happening with you, because you were not in the power seat. You came back into power as a Renaissance. But this is a famous picture. I guess they added this to it, but these were Edomites. Then you had the knights, which were Jake, pushing them out. You have the stars. You have the alignment of the planets, which is supposed to be coming into play in another 2 days. The alignment of 6 or 7 planets. This is an alignment right here. It's planets, also known as stars. That's supposed to be either asteroid or comet or whatever. The moon, the sun, and the stars are for what? The moon and the stars are for signs. Am I correct? The Wheel of Fortune. And you got Edomites looking like it's tied up to this, because they're going down. Then you got this one. He's sitting as a king, the king of Babylon, Isaiah 14, right? Judgment. We strongly believe that he's going to introduce the world to the MOTB, and he will usher in the Armageddon. I'm not going to say the War of Armageddon, I would say Armageddon, which means the place of the troops. So here you have it. Like I said, I mentioned it in the premiere that I did, which should be over by now. But I forgot the magazine. Somebody said Fortune magazine, and somebody else said Economist, and I said, boom, let me make a video on it. So the economists, they tell you, they're almost like fortune tellers, but are they really fortune tellers? No. What they do is they'll tell you what's going to happen, then they make it happen. They make it happen. So they definitely got him sitting on the throne over the world. He's going to get a lot of people riled up, especially the NATO and the EU nations. He's been criticizing them for years when he was president, 45, number 45, in the UN. He's been getting on the UN. He said he wants to break. One of the executive orders is to totally break from the WHO, the World Health Organization, which you're messing with fire, when you do that. They go hand in hand with these other top institutions and the super elite. So anyway, here you have it. That's Donald Trump sitting on the throne. You got part of the American flag. The American flag is acting as the throne, and he's sitting on top of the whole planet. So anyway, shalom on to the.
So those were tarot cards, and yeah, very well under the Donald Trump presidency, the MOTB could come in. You just got to prepare for it. So we're watching. All right, he could be the president that the other nations that become full-fledged enemies, the so-called European nations of Babylon America through his policies. This is Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation, the fear of Yahweh is his treasure. So we know that since we're watching, we're keeping an eye on, everything these different presidents are doing. There were different wars that were started under, Bush, Obama, Biden, or just continue, in succession. Trump, and continued in his succession from the previous, and if they facilitated and supported, whether it be in Ukraine or in the state of Israel, we know these things are going to lead up to the Third World War, the War of Armageddon. So and these are tarot cards. I believe I heard the apostle say the tarot cards, and they, so they make them happen. So they purposely put, a Trump figurehead in there. And that card game, the other card game, and Light One's card game, they, I believe he's known as the charismatic man or something like that. Stars are aligning. They already are, prognosticators, so they can look at the stars and tell when they're going to come to alignment, the stars and the planets. They don't make a card for it, for what they call it, predictive programming. So it's going to come to pass. We're just watching and waiting. All right. So I'll leave that there. I hope you edified. Shalom.